You're watching Euronews now. I'm Takumbo Stanako with your top stories. NATO's chief Jens Stoltenberg hails a historic day as Finland and Sweden formally submit their bids to become members of the alliance. Hundreds of Ukrainian soldiers evacuated from the Azovstal steel plant are now in Russian-controlled territory as the Duma debates a bill to prevent their exchange. And to the victor, the spoils. Rangers take on Eintracht Frankfurt in the Europa League final with a spot in the Champions League at stake.
A step closer to full membership. Sweden and Finland have formally applied to join NATO, their ambassadors presenting the paperwork to the alliance's Secretary-General in Brussels. The seismic shift from long-held neutrality was spurred by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It raises tensions with Moscow, but has popular support in both countries and across much of the West.
All allies agree on the importance of NATO enlargement. We all agree that we must stand together. And we all agree that this is an historic moment which we must seize.
With well-resourced modern armies, the Nordic nations will be a significant boost to the alliance, but not all members are convinced. Turkey has signalled its opposition because of their perceived support for Kurdish separatists. Final approval is needed from all 30 NATO countries, and diplomatic efforts are underway to persuade Ankara. If that happens, Finland and Sweden should join the organisation within a few months.
They're called heroes by Ukraine and Nazi criminals by Russia. What happens now to the hundreds of Ukrainian fighters who surrendered on Tuesday, ending weeks of resistance at the Azovstal steelworks in Mariupol, is unclear. After handing themselves over, they were transferred to Russian-controlled territory. Ukraine's deputy defense minister said they would be swapped in a prisoner exchange, but some Russian officials have said they could be tried and even executed.
This is a political statement conceived as internal propaganda with an eye to internal political processes in the Russian Federation. From our side, we can say that the negotiation process is ongoing and that the rescue operation itself is ongoing.
In the Russian parliament or Duma, there seems to be strong support for refusing to include any of the Azovstal fighters in a prisoner swap, a sentiment seemingly supported by the speaker.
Nazi criminals should not be exchanged. They are war criminals, and we must do everything to bring them to justice.
Russia's top prosecutor has reportedly asked the country's Supreme Court to designate the Azov regiment, whose members held out in the Mariupol steel plant, as a terrorist organization. The Azov regiment was formed in 2014 as a volunteer militia to fight Russia-backed forces in East Ukraine, and many original members had far-right extremist views. Since then, the unit was integrated into the Ukrainian National Guard, and its commanders say it's moved away from its far-right origins.
The battle for Kherson is the focus of Ukraine's war efforts in the south of the country. We were allowed close to the front lines of a fight waged village by village, which destroys everything in its path. This road used to lead to Crimea, territory Ukraine lost in 2014. Now residents say they're staying behind to protect what is left of their homes and of their country.
What can I tell you? Stone by stone, we built these houses with our own hands. To leave this is very hard for us. Very hard. We don't want this war. We want to be in peace. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
The tension is overwhelming. Everyone here is on edge. We have to keep moving, and fast. Shelling is constant and, according to troops, indiscriminate. Soldiers show us a local school bombed earlier in the conflict.
They use what kind of ammunition right now?
Cluster bombs, artillery, minomет, tanks, rifles, all of they have. And they shouldn't run them. They haven't a special target, you know. It's like a drum.
Cluster ammunition is banned under international treaty. Further down the road, we meet residents gathering to receive their only means of survival these days.
Yes, we give them aid often. We were here yesterday, on the 4th of May, on the 16th, to help all families, yes. Pasta, sandwiches, we will show you right now.
For these people's lifeline, Andrei is risking his.
This.
After bullets.
When?
Last week, when we were evacuating people from here.
As people continue to queue, artillery fire gets close once again.
Very close, very close. Yes, go.
And we have to move. Leaving behind those who say staying is their choice.
We are confident and stubborn people, and we are waiting for them to be kicked out. This is my house. I don't want to give it to them.
Lyubna and husband Leonid have been spending every night in their dark dump basement, alongside piles of jars with pickled vegetables. It can get cold, they say, but it's safe. And above all, it's home. Annelies Borz is in Shevchenkove in southern Ukraine for Euronews.
Every night they go here to stay here and sleep.
Calls for an urgent solution to unblocking Ukraine's Black Sea ports are growing. Exports from the country, which produces as much as half the world's sunflower seeds and a tenth of wheat, have been severely interrupted by the closure of Ukraine's ports following Russia's invasion. It's driving up inflation and shortages around the world. The European Commission has already announced a solidarity lane strategy to unblock borders with Ukraine and boost capacity on road and rail routes to export Ukrainian grain. Germany is now making its railways capable of transporting large quantities of agricultural products from Ukraine to safe harbors in the North and Adriatic seas.
Now we are facing a new challenge, which is more economical, trying to help food from Ukraine and Moldova to reach its destined global markets, because we want to prevent any shortage in other parts of the world for the fact that these countries cannot deliver. And this is an immense logistic challenge.
But experts are also warning of a cascade of export bans. It follows India's snap decision to stop selling its wheat and Indonesia's move to block its palm oil exports. Fears of food insecurity are causing governments to put feeding their own people before others, adding to soaring food prices.
Time for us to take a little break on the programme, but we'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere.